From Mark Williams' audacious promise of a naked press conference, adding a dash of humor, to Jack Jones's unexpectedly comedic mishap of a dropped ball, our series explores the funniest and most unpredictable moments in snooker. All right, folks, picture this. Mark Williams, right? The man's a legend. So he throws out this wild bet before the World Snooker Championship, saying he'd show up to the press conference in his birthday suit if he snagged his third title. And guess what? He actually did it. Well, almost. He had to wrap a towel around himself, thank goodness for that, huh? I mean, the guy missed what seemed like a sitter to clinch it, yet he pulls off this incredible break in the final frame. It's the stuff of snooker dreams, honestly. So there we were watching Jack Jones, right? He's lining up for the blue and bang, it's down. But here's where it gets spicy. The blue's supposed to go back to its spot, middle of the table. But folks, it didn't quite pan out. Imagine in the heat of the moment, the ball slips, hits the table, and boom, it's chaos. Knocks another red out of place, or as we like to call it, the cherry gets a surprise visit. And me? I'm on the edge of my seat thinking, oh, this is snooker gold. It's those unexpected twists that make your heart race. You've got the skill, the tension, and then this curveball. It's like, you can't write this stuff. All right, picture this. O'Sullivan, the Rocket himself, is lining up a shot along the rail. He's aiming for the brown, but would you believe it? Misses it entirely. Yet somehow he manages to keep his cool, position still on point. Then the scene gets a bit comical. The refs are there, scratching their heads, trying to get the ball back exactly where it was. And everyone around? They're pitching in, giving their 2 cents on the spot like it's a community project. So there we were mid-game, and the referee's in a bit of a pickle. She's trying to figure out which ball got nudged. Then comes the moment with the pink ball, trying to nudge it back into just the right spot. But it's awkward, super awkward. The game hits a pause. A long one, reminiscent of that nail-biter with the respotted black between Stephen Hendry and... oh, who was it? Right, the tension's thick. And here's the kicker. She contemplates taking off her glove to drop the pink ball back delicately. Because let's face it, with gloves on, that pink's like a bar of soap, might slip right through. Then someone throws out the idea of bringing in a crayon to mark the spot. Can you imagine? Finally, she does it, glove off, and the pink's back in place. And you're sitting there thinking, what a moment. They turn a match into a story, something to chat about. In the thick of the 2022 Snooker Championship final, things got heated. Picture Judd and Ronnie O'Sullivan, 2 titans of the table, and then boom, tension spikes. Ronnie's in a bit of a standoff with the ref, tossing out a, you didn't see anything, his frustration palpable, and you're there thinking, what's going on here? The referee, trying to keep things cool, heads over to O'Sullivan. It's one of those moments, right? The air's electric, everyone's on edge. So, here's the scene. Mark Selby and Scott Donaldson at the table, scratching their heads over the break size and score. Imagine them, mid-match, trying to crunch numbers like they're in a math class. We're sitting at about 8.5, one says, trying to piece together the puzzle of their potential 147 break. Okay, so I've potted 4 blues on top of the reds, Mark's thinking out loud, counting on his fingers maybe. That puts me on 72, aiming for 75, right? But then, confusion hits. How does this add up for a 147, he wonders. Scott's just as baffled, shaking his head. No, wait a sec. So there we are, watching Mark Selby, right? He's eyeing the pink ball, goes for it thinking it's his free ball. But the moment he hits it, you can see that instant regret wash over him. Turns out the free ball wasn't called. And there's Selby, probably wishing he could take that shot back. I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, Mark, what have you done? It's one of those moments where you're just as stunned as he is. He thought he had a free pass on the pink, but nope, the call never came. And me? I'm wondering how he's going to bounce back from this little blip. All right, picture this. We're down to the wire at number 8, and the atmosphere's electric. There's this unbelievable break unfolding right before our eyes. Each shot's more impressive than the last, and you can almost hear the collective heartbeat of the audience. Now it's down to that final black, the climax of what's been an absolute masterclass in snooker. Pause for a moment. You feel that tension? It's like the room's holding its breath, then bam! What a shot on the black, it's poetry in motion, truly. The cue ball dances, and for a second, it's like everything's in perfect harmony. But then, oh man, the heartbreak. That easy black, right at the finish line, and it's missed. Can you believe it? It's one of those moments where time seems to freeze. You could see it, the rush of blood, the haste. So, we're at number 7, right? And there's Ronnie O'Sullivan, the Rocket, lining up what looks like a no-brainer of a shot. But then, can you believe it? He misses. Totally fluffs it. And the look on his face? It's like he's as shocked as we are, shaking his head, maybe even a bit miffed at a flute cannon earlier. Just like that, he's handed over the frame to Dom. Talk about an early Christmas gift. It's moments like these that remind us even legends have their off days. Makes you think, doesn't it? Snooker's not just about skill, it's that mental game, staying cool under pressure. That's the real challenge. Here we are, folks, at number 6. Danvers leaning in, right? He's eyeing up that shot from the perfect angle, totally zoned in. But then, oops, a little mishap. He knocks over a water bottle right behind him. Yeah, it happens to the best of us, right? You've got to hydrate, but sometimes the bottle's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sorry about that, he says. But hey, that's just part of the game. It's a player's right to have their water handy, even if it leads to a spill now and then. It just shows, snooker's not just about the shots on the table. It's about handling those little surprises with a bit of grace. Next up, at number 5, we've got Ronnie facing a bit of a puzzle. He's squinting at the cue ball, wondering, is this spot on? It's one of those moments, you know? The ball's not quite where he wants it, and you can almost hear the cogs turning in his head. But here's the thing, Ronnie's got options. Sure, the position's a bit off, but there's a red on the left begging for a flick. Give it a try, that's what he's thinking. And that's Ronnie for you, always finding a way. Makes you appreciate the art of snooker, doesn't it? It's not just about where the ball sits, it's about seeing the possibilities, making the shot work for you. At number 4, we've got Ronnie in a bit of a snooker quandary. Mid-match, he's scratching his head over a rule, right? So he turns to the ref, looking for some clarity. The confusion, it's about being snookered by the same ball. But hold on, he says, isn't that a bit odd since the reds are all fair game? The thing is, you can't be snookered behind a ball that's on. Ronnie's trying to wrap his head around it, thinking out loud, so, hitting that red directly isn't on the cards then? And the ref's like, exactly, it's a 4-ball contact situation. Caught at number 3, Peter Ebden's visibly rattled after Jamie's play leaves him in a tight spot. Cue the drama. Cue dropped, chalk flying. Really, Peter? We're all thinking. It's a spectacle, almost like he's saying, what luck? Sure, frustration's part of the game, but this? It leaves us fans chuckling and bewildered, thinking, only in snooker! Sliding into number 2, Mark Allen sets the stage for a Selby win, leaving the pink perfectly poised. Selby, needing a snooker, finds himself in a spot where etiquette meets strategy. Allen, standing back, knows the game's twists all too well. It's these moments, isn't it, that spice up snooker, blending skill with the unspoken rules of the game? Just when you think you've seen it all, snooker surprises you, making us fans live for these nail-biting finishes. Topping our list, Neil Robertson and Robert Milkins get a nudge from the ref about a mix-up with their seats, sparking a comical exchange of glasses and bottles. You're in the wrong seat, says the ref, sparking a moment of confusion. Could you imagine the chaos if a century break got credited to the wrong player? Is this your bottle? No, that's my glass. Now think about it. In snooker, like in life, it's all about those moments of patience, isn't it? Rushing, losing your cool. It doesn't just cost you a shot, it can cost you the game. And that's the takeaway here. It's not just about the shots we make, but how we make them. Remember, it's those breaths we take, those moments we give ourselves to settle, that can make all the difference.